Welcome to the Shadow of History channel. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out more videos like this one. Korea 1952. Marine Sergeant Frank Prater uses a small dropper to feed a 2-week-old orphan kitten amidst the brutality of the Korean War. This moment of tenderness offered a brief, much-needed escape. France 1918. American soldiers stand in solemn formation to pay tribute to the fallen animals of the Great War horses. Dogs and pigeons served bravely their sacrifices, honored by the men they supported. Belgium 1917. A Red Cross nurse pauses to comfort a rescue dog during the chaos of World War I. These loyal animals searched through rubble and gas, saving countless lives on the front lines. New Mexico, 1914. A woman of the Jemez Pueblo gazes into the lens while cradling her infant child. This portrait captures the enduring strength and cultural heritage of indigenous families in the early 20th century. Poland, 1945. Liberated survivors of Auschwitz stand behind barbed wire, their eyes reflecting the unspeakable horrors they endured. Their freedom marked the end of a nightmare and the beginning of a long healing process. Oklahoma, 1906 Cayutees. A Caddo woman sits for a portrait that captures her dignified presence. Her traditional attire and steady gaze serve as a powerful testament to the resilience of Native American identity. Georgia, 1909. Young cotton mill workers pose outside the factory where they spend their long, grueling days. These children, often just boys and girls, represent the harsh reality of industrial labor before reform. Leicester, 1910. Two boys sit side by side after contracting smallpox at the same time the vaccinated child shows only mild scabs, while the unvaccinated boy suffers from a severe, life-threatening form of the disease. France, 1941. This Cartier watch, fashioned in the elegant shape of a silver envelope, reflects wartime sophistication even during global conflict. Craftsmanship persisted, blending functional timekeeping with the high style of Parisian luxury. Amiens, 1918. An elderly woman sits on a public bench, clutching her only remaining possession, her cow having fled the advancing war zone. She waits in silence, a displaced soul seeking temporary refuge. London, 1890. Little Adelaide Springett sits on a curb in the East End, an unintentional symbol of Victorian poverty. Her ragged clothes and somber expression highlight the struggles of a forgotten urban generation. Pennsylvania, 1890. The weary miners emerge from the depths of the earth at the end of a long shift. Captured during the Gilded Age, these ununionized workers faced daily peril for meager exploitative wages. Boston, 1975. A fire escape collapses, sending a woman and child falling through the air. This haunting image captured a moment of unimaginable tragedy, leading to the immediate overhaul of national fire codes. Tasmania, 1903. Fanny Cochran Smith sings into a wax cylinder phonograph to preserve her heritage. Without her dedication, the audio traces of the Tasmanian language and its ancient songs would be lost forever. Michigan, 1925. An all-female jazz band poses with their instruments from saxophones to the tuba. These women embodied the bold energy of the jazz age, breaking social barriers with every syncopated, rhythmic beat. New York, 1958. A technician meticulously wires one of the first IBM computers by hand. This complex web of cables represents the dawn of the digital age, long before microchips simplified the world. Pacific Ocean, 1973. Maurice and Marilyn Bailey sit in a rubber raft after their yacht was struck by a whale. They survived an astonishing 118 days adrift, battling hunger and thirst before rescue. Sicily, 1900, a young girl sits peacefully on the ground beside a small baby goat captured by Wilhelm von Gloeden. This pastoral scene evokes a timeless sense of innocence in the Mediterranean sun. California, 1975. A young woman poses with effortless style, capturing the vibrant spirit of the 70s. This candid family photo serves as a nostalgic window into the fashion and attitude of a bygone era. Tennessee, 1923. Adults and a baby navigate a dugout canoe through the flooded backwaters of the Tennessee River, accompanied by their dog. They move quietly through a landscape submerged by rising waters. Surrey, 1939. At a local kennel, Airedale Terriers are trained to wear specialized gas masks as World War II loomed. Even man's best friend had to be prepared for the threat of chemical warfare. Vancouver, 1931. Retired resident Charles Jones tends to thousands of birds in his backyard aviary. What started as a private hobby became a world-famous attraction, hosting visitors from across the entire global map. Illinois, 1858. A somber Abraham Lincoln poses for a portrait years before he would lead a divided nation. This rare image captures the future president as a lawyer long before the Civil War. Texas, 1979. NASA's first 6 female astronauts stand together, breaking the ultimate glass ceiling. These pioneers paved the way for women in space, proving that the stars belong to everyone, regardless of gender. Copenhagen, 1952 patrons gather at the Storyville Jazz Club to hear the latest syncopated rhythms in the post-war era. American jazz found a passionate home in Denmark, fueling a vibrant new cultural scene. New York, 1964. A group of rebellious high school students skips class to see the Beatles perform. Their excitement reflects the height of Beatlemania, a cultural phenomenon that changed the world of music. Hawaii, 1965. A young Barack Obama smiles alongside his maternal grandfather, Stanley. Dunham on a sunny beach, this private family snapshot captures the future president during his formative childhood years in the islands. Buenos Aires, 1998. Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio. The future Pope Francis sits quietly on a public bus. Known for his humility, he chose the commute of the common people over the luxury of private transport. SA, 1955. Children pose with a giant, slightly eerie Easter bunny during a local holiday event. These vintage photographs capture a mid-century tradition that remains a nostalgic, if sometimes unsettling, childhood rite. Germany, 1945. Female SS guards are forced to clear the dead at the liberated Bergen-Belsen camp. This grim parade served as a direct confrontation with the atrocities they helped oversee during the Holocaust. Ukraine, 1935. A young girl gazes at the camera with striking, soulful eyes. Though she possesses a natural beauty, her calloused, weathered hands tell the silent story of a life defined by grueling labor. New York, 1901. Mrs. Ian Dickerson poses proudly beside a massive 363-pound black sea bass. This record-breaking catch off the Atlantic coast challenged the social expectations of women in the sport. London, 1954. Teddy girls walk the streets in their tailored jackets, shocking the older generation with their defiant style. These working-class pioneers were some of the first true teenagers to create their own subculture. London, 1935. A librarian walks through the city streets with a specialized rack of books. This mobile service brought literature directly to the doorsteps of residents, ensuring that knowledge was accessible to everyone. Belfast, 1972. 3 children and a journalist stand near a British soldier atop a massive urban barricade. This tense moment during Operation Motorman highlights the daily reality of life during the Northern Irish Troubles. Cincinnati, 1874, patrons explore the soaring multi-tiered stacks of the city's magnificent public library. Despite its architectural grandeur and vast collection, this temple of knowledge was tragically demolished in the mid-50s. London, 1930. A curious child peers into a cage to examine newborn tiger cubs at the zoo. Sadly, the cubs did not survive, but this fleeting moment captures a rare, intimate encounter with nature. London, 1850. A young chimney sweep covered in soot stands ready. For another dangerous day of work during the Victorian era, small children were often forced into these narrow flues to earn a living. New York, 1992. Sinead O'Connor shocks a live television audience by tearing a photo of the Pope. This bold act of protest against institutional silence became one of the most controversial moments in broadcasting. England, 1986. Andre the Giant shares a laugh with his body, double on the set of The Princess Bride. Despite his massive size, the actor was known for his gentle spirit and incredible presence. New Orleans, 1989. Actors Laura Dern and Nicolas Cage pose together while filming on location. This candid shot captures the raw energy and youthful charisma of 2 stars who would define a cinematic generation. New York, 1987. Traders shout and panic on the floor of the stock exchange. During the Black Monday, this massive crash wiped out trillions in value, sending shockwaves through the global economy in hours. Los Angeles, 1920. A policeman demonstrates a small portable jail cell attached to his motorcycle. This unusual invention was designed to transport offenders quickly to the station in a rapidly growing motorized city. Texas, 1974. The cast of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre poses in character on their dilapidated farmhouse porch. This low-budget horror film would go on to redefine the genre and terrify audiences worldwide. Nevada, 1986. Val Kilmer gazes intensely while portraying the elite pilot Iceman in the film Top Gun. His performance helped turn the high-octane drama into a definitive cultural touchstone of the EC-war 80s. London, 1895. An exhausted mother falls asleep while hand-making matchboxes her child, resting beneath a table in Victorian England. This grueling work paid a pittance, forcing families into a cycle of extreme poverty. Brussels, 1945. A dancer named Aicha performs with 2 large pythons at a local nightclub. Following the end of the German occupation, the city's nightlife erupted with a renewed sense of wild, liberated energy. Dublin, 1932. Thousands of worshippers gather at O'Connell Bridge for the final Mass of the Eucharistic Congress. This massive event saw a quarter of Ireland's entire population unite in a display of faith. Belfast, 1981. Joe McDonnell dies in prison after a long hunger strike for political status. His death followed years of protest, leaving behind a family who had not been allowed to visit him. USA, 1945. A mother stands proudly with her 8 sons, all dressed in military uniform. In a rare and fortunate turn of events, every brother returned home safely from the battlefields of World War II. Hungary, 1987. A mother poses with her child, capturing a quiet moment of domestic life behind the Iron Curtain. This candid snapshot reflects the fashion and atmosphere of Eastern Europe during the late 80s. Poland, 1945, concentration camp commandant Adolf Wilhelms is forced to hold a sign confessing his crimes before his execution. This stark image serves as a final public accounting for his atrocities at the factory. London, 1892. Gentlemen pose formally for a portrait while proudly cradling their small pet dogs during the late Victorian era. These beloved pups were treated as cherished members of the upper-class family. Denmark, 1947. Explorer Peter Freuchen stands beside his stylish wife Dagmar in a portrait by Irving Penn. The couple's striking appearance blends the rugged world of Arctic exploration with high society post-war fashion. USA, 1998. Teenage friends gather in a basement for a weekend LAN party surrounded by bulky monitors and tangled cables. This image captures the early social dawn of the modern PC gaming culture. Michigan, 1928. Ralph Fogelman stands beside the world's largest horse, a massive creature weighing over 3,000 pounds. This giant of the fields represented the peak of draft horse breeding before total mechanization. Italy, 1998. A young girl poses playfully pretending to support the Leaning Tower of Pisa. With her hands, this classic tourist photograph remains a timeless tradition for millions visiting the architectural wonder each year. Cuba, 1952. Author Ernest Hemingway focuses his aim to shoot a cigarette out of a brave man's fingers. This daring feat illustrates the legendary writer's lifelong obsession with adventure, danger, and expert marksmanship. Afghanistan, 2005. An 11-year-old girl sits beside her much older fiancé during their engagement ceremony in Gore Province. This powerful image by Stephanie Sinclair brought global attention to the tragic reality of child marriage. Germany, 1931. A Jewish Hanukkah menorah sits on a windowsill, defiantly facing a Nazi swastika visible across the street. This quiet act of faith served as a brave protest against the rising tide of hate. Kent, 1930. Weary coal miners pause for a photograph at the Tillmanstone Colliery. After a long shift underground, these men fueled the industrial age, working in dangerous conditions to power the nation's growing infrastructure. Tehran, 1971. An Iranian Airways flight attendant smiles while cutting a birthday cake for a colleague. On board, this elegant scene captures the cosmopolitan and glamorous era of Iranian aviation before the coming revolution. England, 1950. A clever horse leans over a table to join a group of men in a friendly game of cards. This humorous scene from a local pub highlights the eccentricities of rural life. Stockholm, 1890. Thousands of telephone wires stretch across the sky from a massive central tower before underground cabling this web of lines connected the city, creating a surreal metallic canopy over the streets. France, 1944. Vividly colorized photographs bring the D-Day invasion of Normandy to life with startling clarity. These images transform the grainy past into a visceral modern look at the turning point of the war. USA, 1941. To ease the fears of young children, Mickey Mouse gas masks were produced following the Pearl Harbor attacks. Only 1,000 were made, turning a tool of survival into a strange artifact. Ireland, 1903. Villagers gather traditional turf from the bogs of Achill Island to heat their homes. This labor-intensive process was a vital part of rural Irish survival, passed down through generations of families. Sydney, 1916. A massive elephant is carefully transported through the city streets toward its new home at Taronga Zoo. This logistical feat drew crowds of onlookers as the exotic animal arrived in Australia. Dublin, 1924. Irish Army officers don mythical ancient costumes and lead massive wolfhounds through Croke Park. This ceremonial display at the Tailteann Games celebrated the rich, legendary history and independence of the new nation. Galway, 1913. Marguerite Mespoulet captures a Colleen girl in one of the first color photographs of Ireland. The vibrant red of her traditional cloak offers a rare, lifelike glimpse into early 20th century life. Austria, 1945. Two Royal Military Police officers pose kindly with a 4-year-old girl named Anna, billeted with her family. After the war, these soldiers found a brief moment of humanity amidst the occupation. Dublin, 1916. Following the Easter Rising, 90 men and 1 woman faced secret court-martials without legal defense. These swift trials and subsequent executions sparked a massive wave of public support for Irish independence. Ethiopia, 1988. Audrey Hepburn visits a drought-stricken region as a UN Goodwill Ambassador. Her presence brought global awareness to the famine, highlighting how targeted aid could save lives and restore hope to families. Russia, 1941. Reindeer huddle on the tundra as bombs fall from the sky during a wartime air raid. This surreal image captures the collision of ancient nature and the destructive power of modern conflict. England, 1920. A collection of vintage photographs shows families posing with their eccentric pets from cats to birds. These images prove that the bond between humans and animals has always been deeply personal. Ussay, 1907. Maud Wagner. The first famous female tattoo artist displays her intricate hand-poked designs alongside her husband Gus. She traveled the country as a tattooed attraction, breaking social norms with every needle. New York, 1933. 2 young siblings, children of Irish immigrants, arrive back in Brooklyn after traveling alone to Ireland. Their incredible solo journey across the Atlantic captured the hearts of the city's dockworkers. England, 2024. Captain John Paddy Hemingway, the final surviving pilot from the Battle of Britain, passes away at 105. His long life stood as a live-in link to the legendary aerial conflict. Ireland, 1955. A father and his young son share a quiet pint in a traditional rural pub. This candid moment reflects the social fabric of mid-century Irish life, where community and family intertwined. Germany, 1936. A cat named Brunhilde poses for a whimsical photograph wearing a custom-made suit of metal armor. This humorous pet portrait showcases the creativity and playful spirit of early 20th century animal photography. Washington, 1863. Fancy-clad onlookers gather at the base of the U.S. Capitol. As the massive dome nears completion, constructed during the Civil War, the dome served as a powerful symbol of national endurance. Oklahoma, 1910. A Comanche woman stands proudly beside her child, who is secured in a traditional decorative cradleboard. This portrait, by Edward Curtis, preserves the beautiful craftsmanship and cultural practices of the plains. New York, 1945. Rose Claire Leonard tunes in to a small television set during its first public post-war showing, retailing for $100. This device brought the world into the average American home. SA, 1985. the legendary Andre the Giant attempts to fit into a standard airplane seat during a flight. His massive frame illustrates the daily challenges faced by a man of his extraordinary singular stature. Ireland, 1917. A rural family gathers around a simple wooden table for a meal of potatoes and milk. This modest dinner reflects the humble reality of agricultural life during the early 20th century. New York, 1969. Young festival-goers display their eclectic fashion while walking through the mud at Woodstock. Their fringed denim and headbands became the iconic uniform for a generation seeking peace and musical revolution. London, 1953. A bold newspaper headline announces the historic conquest of Mount Everest. The news reached the public on the day of Queen Elizabeth's coronation, doubling the nation's sense of pride and triumph. Copenhagen, 1969. A soulful Judy Garland is photographed during a visit to Denmark in the final year of her life, despite her personal struggles. Her enduring star power remains evident in this intimate portrait. Michigan, 1893-2. Powerful horses pull a massive load of logs at the World's Fair. This display of raw torque and strength highlighted the incredible power of animal labor before the age of engines. Dakota Territory, 1880. Chief Long Wolf poses with his family in a formal studio portrait. This image captures the dignity of a leader navigating a rapidly changing world for his people's future. Germany, 1934. Workers climb hundreds of feet into the air to assemble the massive frame of the Hindenburg. Even today, it remains the largest man-made vehicle to ever take flight into the clouds. Berlin, 1931. The experimental rail Zeppelin sits beside a traditional steam train at a station with its massive rear propeller. This futuristic vehicle represented the cutting edge of high-speed locomotive design and engineering. Germany, 1917. A soldier named Dominicus Müller rests in a hospital bed after losing his lower body on the Western Front. His survival against such odds is a testament to early medical resilience. Space, 1981. The Voyager 2 spacecraft captures a breathtaking close-up view of Saturn's intricate rings. This historic image expanded our understanding of the solar system, revealing the complex beauty of the gas giant. California, 1971. Actress Tippi Hedren and her family share their home with a fully grown lion named Neil. These incredible photos show the big cat lounging poolside and interacting with the family like a pet. Oregon, 1905. Workers navigate a swaying rope ladder 300 feet above the Crooked River. This terrifying climb was a daily requirement for those building the Oregon Trunk Bridge in the early 1900s. Las Vegas, 1984. Neon signs glow along the Strip, showcasing the vibrant energy of the city's golden era. This view captures the classic hotels and casinos before the massive mega-resort boom changed the skyline. London, 1931. A young couple beams with joy as they leave the church just after their wedding. Their elegant attire and happy expressions capture the timeless hope and celebration of a new marriage. Uzbekistan, 1907. An early color photograph reveals the dark subterranean depths of a prison in Bukhara. This rare image provides a vivid, haunting look at Central Asian history long before modern film technology. Valdez, 1910. Public schools remain open despite a staggering mountain of snow towering over the small Alaskan town. This image captures the rugged determination of a frontier community refusing to let the elements halt education. Washington, D.C., 1981. A Navy communications specialist stands watch during Ronald Reagan's inauguration ceremony. Amidst the political transition, the presence of military personnel ensured seamless coordination for one of America's most historic televised events. England, 1880. A sailor's leisure time is captured in this intricately carved bone dice holder and matching dice. These scrimshaw artifacts represent the patient craftsmanship of mariners who spent months at sea seeking entertainment. Oklahoma, 1939. A weary migrant worker and his barefoot daughter sit beside their truck in a makeshift camp. Their patched clothing and scattered belongings tell a story of resilience during the Great Depression's harvest. Louisiana, 1860. Isaac and Rosa, two children born into slavery, pose for a rare and sobering portrait. Though they appear different in complexion, both were legally bound by the cruel systems of the antebellum South. Tokyo, 1990. Passengers aboard a descending flight catch a breathtaking glimpse of Mount Fuji rising above the clouds. This iconic peak serves as a majestic gateway for travelers arriving in the bustling heart of Japan. SA, 1885. A mother and father look on with a mixture of pride and exhaustion at their newborn quadruplets in the late 19th century. The survival of 4 infants was a rare medical marvel. Hollywood, 1985. Ralph Macchio smiles alongside his wife Phyllis at the height of his Karate Kid fame. Their enduring partnership began long before he became a global star, remaining a steady force in show business. Turkey, 2005. A brave farmer defends himself against an escaped zoo lion using only his bare hands after stunning the predator with a punch and a chokehold. He was hailed as a local hero. Italy, 1989. Young Dalma Maradona handpicks a tiny flower for her father during a soccer training session. Diego proudly wore the bloom on his jersey, a rare moment of domestic joy for the legend. California, 1995. A young Kirsten Dunst takes a break on the jungle-themed set of the hit film Jumanji. This behind-the-scenes moment captures the actress before she became a household name in the late 90s. New York, 1993. O.J. Simpson and Donald Trump chat during Trump's high-profile wedding to Marla Maples. This candid photograph was taken just 6 months before the double murder trial that would transpire in Los Angeles. Oxford, 1925. Students strut down the street wearing Oxford bags, the famously wide-legged trousers that defined collegiate fashion. These comically oversized pants were a rebellious statement against the restrictive styles of the previous era. London, 1930. A police officer navigates city traffic with his loyal dog seated securely in the motorcycle sidecar. This charming duo became a familiar sight, proving that even law enforcement valued a canine companion. Say, 1945. A woman navigates the aisles of a local grocery store during the final months of World War II. Despite the end of the US conflict, many shoppers still face the reality of rationing. Puerto Rico, 1946. Passengers settle in for a long flight across the Atlantic toward New York City in the post-war era. Commercial aviation began to bridge the gap between islands and the American mainland. Australia, 2008. In this final known photograph, Heath Ledger appears relaxed just days before his tragic passing. The image serves as a poignant reminder of the talented actor's vibrant life and sudden loss. New York, 1970. The Twin Towers begin to dominate the Manhattan skyline as construction reaches its peak. This incredible image captures the skeletal steel frames of the buildings that would soon become global icons. California, 1934. A woman sits patiently in a Long Beach beauty salon while her hair is permed using a complex electric machine. This cumbersome process was the height of fashion for the modern woman. New York, 1978. Dancers lose themselves in the rhythm and lights of Studio 54. This image captures the raw energy and liberated spirit of the legendary nightclub that defined the disco era and excess. USA, 1918. Circus giant George Anger poses beside Pygmy Clicquot for a promotional Barnum and Bailey photograph. These performers were the star attractions of the traveling show, drawing massive crowds with their physical contrasts. Europe, 1944. An Allied soldier smiles for a wartime selfie captured with a small handheld camera. Even amidst the chaos of battle, soldiers found ways to document their experiences for the families waiting home. Berlin, 1927. ARE. A barbershop window displays special prices for the unemployed during a period of intense social contrast. While some enjoyed the roaring 20s, many others struggled to afford even basic grooming services. USA, 1965. A toddler stands precariously on a car seat, designed more for height than safety. Before modern regulations, these metal frames offered little protection, reflecting the casual attitude toward child passenger safety. West Virginia, 1908. Two young boys work as mule drivers alongside an adult miner in the Gary coal mines. These children spent their daylight hours in the dark, fueling the nation's industrial growth. Mississippi, 1937. A 2-year-old Elvis Presley poses for his earliest known photograph with his parents Vernon and Gladys. This humble family portrait captures the future king of rock and roll in his infancy. Connecticut, 2012. President Obama sits alone in a quiet classroom, meticulously rewriting his remarks for the Sandy Hook Memorial. This somber moment reflects the heavy emotional burden of leading a nation through tragedy. USA, 1984. Members of Van Halen are surprised backstage by a mariachi band for David Lee Roth's birthday. This festive celebration captures the high-energy, playful atmosphere that followed the band's legendary rock performances. New York, 1966. Long before she led the band, Blondie Debbie Harry performs with the psychedelic folk group Wind in the Willows. This early stage of her career shows the artist exploring her sound. Moscow, 1980. Soviet ethnographer Yuri Knorozov poses with his cat after successfully deciphering the ancient Mayan writing system. His breakthrough revolutionized archaeology, allowing the world to finally read the lost history of Mesoamerica. London, 1989. A young boy gets a boost from his friend to hand a bouquet of flowers to Princess Diana. This touching moment captures the Princess of Wales's enduring connection with the public. Vienna, 1920. Doctors deliberately infect a syphilis patient with malaria to induce a high fever. This radical treatment earned Julius Wagner-Jauregg a Nobel Prize for successfully killing the bacteria before antibiotics were discovered. New York, 1933. A Hooverville of makeshift shacks sits in the middle of Central Park. During the Great Depression, this stark image illustrates the housing crisis that left thousands of city residents homeless. Washington, D.C. 2010 President Obama signs the Affordable Care Act into law. Surrounded by supporters, this landmark legislation aimed to provide health care coverage to millions of Americans, marking a major shift in policy. Egypt, 1864. A group of samurai on a diplomatic mission pose for a photograph in front of the Great Sphinx. This striking image captures the meeting of two ancient and distinct warrior cultures. Constantinople, 1912. Merchants and pedestrians crowd a narrow street in the final years of the Ottoman Empire. This vibrant scene offers a glimpse into a city on the brink of modern transformation. London, 1963. 6-year-old Patrick Power receives boxing tips from the legendary Muhammad Ali, playfully sparred with the boy, offering encouragement and a memorable experience to help him face local school bullies. Minnesota, 1881. A massive wall of snow blocks a railway line after a historic winter storm. Residents faced a grueling ordeal as they worked to clear the tracks and reconnect isolated frontier towns. Berlin, 1907. A street sweeper diligently cleans the road as a horse-drawn carriage passes by. This early 20th century scene captures the daily labor required to maintain a growing European capital before motorized vehicles. California, 1961. Families flock to Disneyland to enjoy the newly opened attractions of the Magic Kingdom. This vintage footage captures the early charm of the park that became a global symbol of imagination. New York, 1978. Neon lights and movie marquees illuminate the gritty streets of Times Square. This snapshot of the late 70s shows the area long before its transformation into a polished commercial hub. California, 1974. Sean Astin poses with his mother, Patty Duke, and stepfather, John Astin. This family portrait captures the young actor years before he would find fame in The Goonies and Middle-earth. Canada, 1953. A young child with polio uses parallel bars to practice walking during a physical therapy session. This rehabilitation center in Sudbury marked the beginning of modern specialized care for virus survivors. Paris, 1866. Author Alexandre Dumas poses for a controversial photograph with the scandalous actress Ada Isaacs-Menken. This image caused a stir in French society, linking the legendary writer with the stage star. Scotland, 1946. Holocaust survivor Edith Steiner marries John Mackay, the soldier who rescued her from a concentration camp. Their wedding photo serves as a beautiful testament to love and survival following wartime darkness. Norway, 1880. A woman walks through the rugged mountainous landscape of Ulster. This 19th century photograph captures the stark beauty of the Norwegian fjords and the traditional life of the people living there. Norway, 1900. Women dressed in vibrant national costumes stand outside the Sundale guest house. These traditional outfits, known as bunads, represent the rich cultural identity and regional pride of the Norwegian countryside. France, 1991. Divers explore the Koskir Cave, which sits 37 meters below sea level. The prehistoric handprints on the walls prove that the entrance was once dry land before rising oceans submerged the site. Norway, 1917. A taxi driver stands beside his cab, which features a massive gas-filled balloon on the roof during World War I. This creative fuel alternative allowed transportation to continue despite severe petrol shortages. Norway, 1904. Archaeologists carefully excavate the Osberg ship, a remarkably preserved Viking vessel. This discovery provided invaluable insight into the craftsmanship and burial customs of the seafaring warriors of the 9th century. USA 1950s, a massive police speed radar sits mounted on a car. A bulky predecessor to modern tech law enforcement struggled to hide these giant units while catching unsuspecting motorists on the open road. The Western Front 1917. A lone soldier stands knee-deep in a sea of spent shell casings. This haunting image captures the sheer scale of industrial warfare and the relentless barrage of the Great War. Seattle 1939. A man stands dwarfed by towering stacks of timber at the Seattle Cedar Lumber Yard, captured by Alfred Eisenstadt. This scene highlights the immense scale of the Pacific Northwest's thriving logging industry. North Carolina 1914. The Paget family poses together labeled a menace due to their total illiteracy. Their situation reflects the harsh social stigmas and the desperate lack of educational resources in rural America. USA 1948. A milkman and his loyal terrier pose proudly at the back of a delivery truck. This charming snapshot captures a bygone era of morning routines and the simple companionship of working animals. Seattle 1942. A nearly complete B-17F Flying Fortress dominates the Boeing production line. This massive bomber represents the industrial might of the United States as workers prepared the legendary aircraft for wartime missions. Luanda 1898. A nobleman from Angola poses with quiet dignity, reflecting the complex social hierarchies of the era. His attire and posture provide a rare glimpse into the elite life of late 19th century Africa. Nagasaki 1945. A young boy, a victim of the atomic blast, clutches a simple rice ball. This colorized image serves as a heartbreaking reminder of the human cost and civilian suffering following nuclear war. The Andes 1972 survivors wait near the wreckage of Uruguayan Air Force. Flight 571, this chilling photo captures the grim reality of the rugby team's 72-day ordeal in the frozen, unforgiven mountain wilderness. USA 1865. George Armstrong Custer poses for a portrait during the final year of the Civil War. The young general's intense gaze and flamboyant uniform hint at the controversial military career still to come. Arkansas 1914. A typical family stands before their humble home in the Ozark Mountains. This portrait of Franklin County life reveals the rugged, self-sufficient existence of those living in the heart of rural America. Longueval, 1916. A piper of the Seaforth Highlanders leads exhausted men back from the trenches. The haunting music provided a somber soundtrack for survivors returning from the brutal front lines of the Great War. It was in 1930. A young performer categorized as a professional pickaninny reflects the deeply problematic racial caricatures of the era. This image serves as a stark artifact of the systemic prejudices found in early entertainment. Iran 1970s. A representative of the literacy corps stands before a class of perplexed schoolchildren, part of a national modernization effort. This scene captures the challenging encounter between urban educators and rural students. Tokyo 1960, a right-wing student lunges forward to assassinate Inajiro Asanuma during a televised speech. This shocking moment of political violence sent ripples through Japan and was captured in an iconic Pulitzer-winning photograph. USS 31, date unknown. A sailor cradles a small fox, the official mascot of this. American submarine life beneath the waves was grueling, making the companionship of these animal mascots vital for crew morale. Essay 1958. A kitten becomes an unlikely pioneer as scientists test the effects of weightlessness at high altitude. This unusual experiment used the small animal as a stand-in to study the physical challenges of spaceflight. Mosul, 1932. The bustling souk of Iraq comes to life in this vibrant traditional market scene. Merchants and shoppers navigate narrow alleys, continuing centuries of trade in the heart of the ancient historic city. Detroit, 1967. A heavy tank patrols a quiet residential neighborhood during the height of the mass riots. The military presence on American streets remains a jarring symbol of the era's intense civil unrest. Mississippi, 1939. Tenant families gather on a weathered porch, their faces reflecting the hardships of the Great Depression. This candid shot documents the struggle for survival in the poverty-stricken South during the 30s. Budapest, 1944. Smoke rises from the burning industrial estate of Ungelfold following a devastating carpet bombing. This view captures the city's skyline during the final chaotic stages of the Second World War's European theater. France, 1941. A war artist sits within occupied territory, capturing the reality of life under German rule. Amidst the conflict, these creators documented the tension and transformation of a nation under foreign military control. Sassoon, 1900. A wealthy Armenian man poses with quiet authority in his traditional attire. This portrait from a modern-day Eastern Turkey preserves a moment of cultural heritage before the impending upheavals of the new century. Japan, 1880. A woman dressed in elegant winter attire holds a parasol against the cold. This delicate portrait captures the refined fashion and cultural aesthetics of the Meiji era during a time of transition. USA, 1944. A young Air Corps pilot prepares to take his PT-17 Stearman aloft for training. This focused moment captures the anticipation and bravery of the aviators training to join the global conflict.